I was renting someone else's house while they were away. I believe the term is a vacation rental here in the US. I never met the owners of the house. I never spoke on the phone with them or emailed them directly. Everything was handled through the online rental company I used. It was a cozy and charming one-story bungalow, with more than enough space for just me while I worked temporarily in the area. I was settling in, beginning to put my stuff in one of the closets, when I noticed it. A stack of folded white sheets in the closet nearest the living room. There was nothing unusual about that. The beds in both bedrooms already had sheets on them, but I was sure those sheets were just extra in case I needed them. However, there was a folded piece of white cardstock on top. It was standing up so that I could see there was something written inside. I immediately believed it could be a note for me, like something about those sheets, their care, or the care of other things in the bungalow. I opened it up. Inside was the following handwritten note. Plain white sheets with eye holes cut in them are the easiest way to pretend you're a ghost. Go ahead and try it. Already I was thrown off by the note. In addition to the content, the handwriting was strange. It was rough. Even so, I felt certain it wasn't a child's doing. I put the note aside, and I unfolded one of the white bed sheets. It had 2 small holes, cut in it, close together. I unfolded another, and there were 2 small holes in that one also. By the time I had unfolded one more sheet with eye holes cut in it, my hands were shaking. I thought I heard something moving behind me in the house. My heart ran while I stood still. After about 5 minutes of me just standing there, listening to the creaks of the house, I searched around. I went through both bedrooms, the bathroom, the kitchen and dining area, and the living room. I checked all of the closets and under the 2 beds. I even stepped out onto the veranda outside and walked around both sides of the house. Then, I looked up my rental receipt and found the number of the house's owners. When I tried calling them, no one answered. So I left a message about the sheets in the closet and the state they were in, and I read the note I'd found. "Call me back when you get the chance," I said. I was feeling better. I kept telling myself it was probably something one of their kids had done before they'd left, if they had kids. I forced myself to change my mind about how the note had seemed to be written by someone older, about how there'd been something almost primal to it. Primal, yet somehow also baroque. Later that day, though, as I was composing a work-related email in the bedroom that I designated as my workspace, I heard something moving just outside the bedroom window. It sounded too large to be an animal. I did my best to ignore it, but then there was a scraping scratch at the window. For some reason, maybe because of the sheets and the note, I imagined it to be a pair of scissors, scratching at the window. I pushed myself up from the desk and started to dial 911. But then I stopped. I didn't want to get the police involved if I was only imagining things, or if it was an animal, or a twig. And as for those white sheets in the closet, they were probably nothing to be overly concerned about. I did go outside. I wanted to put my mind at ease. But when I went around the outside to where that bedroom had to be, I found that it did not have a window. How had something been scratching against the bedroom window if there hadn't been one? More importantly, how had I just been staring right at the blinds and curtains of a bedroom window that, by all appearances from the outside, wasn't there? I was beyond perplexed. I began to wonder if maybe something was wrong with me. Once inside the bungalow again, I went directly to that bedroom, and I stared at the curtains and blinds once more. I moved aside the curtains and raised the blinds. I had been hoping they covered nothing more than a blank wall. That would have still been disconcerting, but not as much as what I actually saw. There was a window. I had just been outside in the full light of day, but beyond the window's glass, it was all dark, pitch black. I got pretty frantic. I was about to start trying to call the owners of the house again, if that number was even legit, when I heard 2 knocks. Those knocks had come from somewhere close, somewhere within the room. I turned around, checked under the bed, checked in the room's closet. As I started to close the closet, I heard the knocks again. It seemed they were coming from behind the wall. The source of those knocks couldn't have been more than a few feet away from me as I stood at the threshold of the bedroom closet. It was not easy to breathe. I dropped my phone and had to pick it back up. The knocks. Again. There was something else to them, something I wanted to avoid. They were sharp and scraping at the end, like a fist holding a pair of scissors, or... Shining my cell phone into the back of the closet, I glimpsed the outlines of what appeared to be a door behind the shelves. I took the shelves out, which slid away too easily, and damn my not deciding to leave that house then and there. I just had to see. If I went beyond and found a trapped animal, there would have been no need for me to risk embarrassment by calling for help. The door didn't even have a handle, but when I pressed on it, it fell away and thudded down like a heavy sheet of plywood, down into the darkness beyond. Dust and dirt floated in the air, and a smell I couldn't quite place. I felt like I was entering some kind of old temple chamber. I shined my cell phone's flashlight app within, finding it to be a whole other room, like a third bedroom, but there were no furnishings. There was nothing in that room but rubble and possibly rat droppings. Except, in one corner of the room, when I shined my cell phone light over there, I saw a person standing. Well, I guessed it was a person, because something was holding up that plain white sheet with eye holes cut in it. "I'm calling the cops," I said. "Right now." But I knew that in order to make the call, I would have to momentarily stop using my cell phone as a flashlight. I was peering hard at that shape, trying to tell myself it was just an object, a non-living object behind a plain white sheet with eye holes cut in it, when I noticed 2 bumps at the top of its head. They were pressing outward against the sheets. I'm not sure why, but that made me want to step a little closer. So I did. I shined the light up and down its body. I rested the light on its feet for a moment, which was sticking out. Those feet did not look human. They were cloven, like hooves. Remembering the note and what it had stated about how easy it was to pretend to be a ghost, it also immediately brought to mind something I'd heard from a religious friend of mine once. She had said that ghosts were impossible because people's spirits either went to heaven or hell. If there were spirits on earth, they were most likely demons, and some of them might be pretending to be ghosts for an ulterior motive. I turned and ran. There was movement behind me, but I did not look back. However, I made it out to my car. I didn't question it. I just got in and drove away like a bat out of hell. Somehow I worked up the courage to go back and get my things later. I didn't see whoever or whatever that was again when I went back. I still didn't let myself question it. I just focused my energy on getting my things and getting out of there. For a while I tried to put that behind me. I never attempted to reach out again to the supposed owners of the house for a refund. I never called the cops. I never even left a bad review. I hadn't wanted to tell anyone about it, in case it brought me the wrong kind of attention. But just now, today, about a month and a half after what had happened, I was watching TV on the couch in my own house when I heard something moving around heavily. It sounded like it was in my bedroom. When I stood up to investigate, I noticed that my living room closet door was open. Now I went over to the closet. Inside was a stack of plain white sheets that had never been there before. I unfolded them, one after the other. They all had eye holes cut in them.
Hello listeners, if you enjoyed this story, please check out the author in the description. For more content, leave a like, comment, and subscribe for more sinister readings.